So Veronica, I know we had a lot of negotiations going on lately.
We have. 2025 was good. 2026 is looking even better.
It is. And such a big part of having an agent and making sure that everything goes forward as planned is the negotiation process.
Yes. After you found location, you better be able to negotiate.
Amen. But are we negotiating trying to lowball or trying to disrespect someone?
Never. I had an agent tell me once, she was sitting on the other side of the table. She said, I want a fair process. And that's exactly what we want. We're not trying to lowball. We don't want to take anyone's shirt off of them at the closing table or anything like that. We want everyone to come out feeling like they got a good end of the deal.
You want to make sure that your client has value in that home after the closing. There's no surprises, that it's just a good, fair deal.
And that fair deal starts with negotiating the purchase price.
It does. You want to look at comps, and a lot of times we kind of know that value just from seeing multiple homes.
That's why it's so important to have a local realtor. A local realtor knows the local market. We know the value.
It is.
After purchase price, closing costs.
Closing costs is negotiable, and sometimes the seller's not willing to negotiate that.
That's true.
But the buyer needs it paid for, so you can roll that into the purchase price as well. And so another part of the negotiation process in that beginning stages is furnishings. Do you need furnishings included?
You know, with us being here in the Northeast Georgia mountains and we have so many cabins, it's common that people sell cabins furnished.
Yes, people want that turnkey rental, and furnishings are part of that. What about the next step? Something else to negotiate in that beginning stage?
Some people don't realize that they can negotiate due diligence. You send in an offer and you may want 10 days, but the other party says, no, 10 is too many days. How about 7 days?
Right. If you have multiple offers,
Yes.
you want to negotiate that due diligence period.
Inspection is another opportunity to negotiate. Not all negotiations are about money. Some are about service.
You're right, but let's back up a step first.
Okay.
What about a post-occupancy? What if someone's
That is
buying
true.
and selling at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and they need a couple of days to move out after the closing? Sometimes that seller is not willing to negotiate that post-occupancy for the buyer, or vice versa, because they have a home they have to be in. Now it's inspection. So during inspection, Veronica, is the goal just to get that property just as cheap as we can and lowball someone again?
No, we do not want to do that. We've already talked about that. Sometimes negotiating for the inspection is about service. You want to make sure that you are pleased with the home you have and expectations are met. The inspection report determines that you need new electrical done. Well, maybe the seller's willing to take care of the electrical issue.
I have one under contract now, and we found out it has a foundation issue.
Oh my goodness.
But that's not a make or break for my client.
Oh, good.
They feel like they're getting a good deal on the home, and we are doing our research during that due diligence period. We have a foundation company giving us estimates. As long as it is an affordable lifetime warranty fix, they want to move forward. But the goal was to make sure that they're comfortable with that and there's value in that home after the fix, after they've paid the price that they're paying, after they put the money into the repairs. We still want to make sure that my client has a great value there before we go to the closing table.
Now that we've discussed some of those opportunities, let's talk about the appraisal. Property's under contract and you've gone through the inspection, we're through our due diligence. An appraisal is a contingency that you really want to have in your contract. How do we deal with that with negotiations? If the property comes in below value, then we go back to the seller and say, let's renegotiate this.
The seller has the option to lower his original price or to move on.
And sometimes as agents, we help support the seller. If I'm on the buyer's side, I'm representing the buyer and the seller's property did not appraise, but like you said, we know the market and we're looking and we don't agree with the appraisal sometimes.
Absolutely.
That does happen where we're saying, you know what, I agree with this price. My buyer even agrees with this price. We can suggest some comps for the appraiser to review. Sometimes they accept those comps, sometimes they don't. What about new construction?
Again, always the inspection,
Always.
always the appraisal, because those new constructions will actually surprise you.
You assume that when you purchase something brand new, that it is mint condition, it's perfect, it's well done. Builders are human, mistakes happen.
Most builders, you have the inspector in there, you have the
Mhm.
appraisal in there, they're willing to work with you.
They are. Some things that they just didn't know the error occurred and it was brought to their attention.
Right.
And they're willing to work with it. Again, it's not that you're trying to get the price lowered. You just want to make sure that the value is there for what you purchased.
Correct. Just you want an honest, respectful negotiation period throughout the contract from beginning to end. It's about being respectful, making sure our clients, whether you're a seller or a buyer, has the best deal and gets the best value for your money.